Central Nebraska with Todd Hoffman today here in October 2020. Todd, you had a pretty decent year for the kind of spring we had to start up. And I know you do some experimenting. You've been using the Conklin program now for 13 years, but talk about some of the experimenting and some of what you feel like you're seeing in the field in terms of the effect of our current herbicide packages that farmers are being offered, and what they're doing and how that affects yield as for yield drag, some of those kind of things. I know you've been doing some experimenting. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I love doing tests. I love doing trials my own, and I always tell guys the best results you can have for testing is do your own field, do your own testing yourself, because that's really what it comes down to. We've been playing around with WEX for a long time, the last couple of years, and the more that we use WEX, and not only the more we use, but like a quart to a quart and a half per acre, in some cases even 2 quarts, we're seeing a lot better weed control, especially on pre-emerge. Now that doesn't mean we're going to put 2 quarts on every acre. We'll put a quart to a quart and a half on every acre. But the more that we use WEX, it makes the herbicide, especially like your biceps that you use with your corn or your Acuron. But what we noticed this last year on one of our dryland 20-acre plots is we put an early application of bicep down with some WEX, like a quart and a half early on a pre-emerge with some nitrogen, the Guardian, the WEX, it was all in there. And we came back right before, and timing is critical, guys. That's what we talk about at Pro-Ag. Timing is critical, especially when you're applying herbicides. We come right before the corn came up, went ahead and applied some Acuron on there, the labeled rate, and we were right at the maximum of our atrazine you could out there, but we did no post program. And what we've seen in other fields is that anytime you're using a growth regulator like Liberty or dicamba, and you spray it at the wrong time, especially soybeans, flowering or potting, you're going to diminish your yields quite a bit. Corn is the same way. It's a growth regulator. So what we're finding out in the research we're doing with Conklin is the more that we use pre's down and stay away from the posts and use just the nutrients like our zinc, our nutrient compass, our boron, our magnesium, whatever your tissue test tells you, and even some plant food in there. Plant food is very important because it's balanced food grade nutrition. All of our plant foods are very pure and highly pure grade food fertilizer. So anytime you can do that, it's really critical. So we, in that particular field, we left the dicamba out, and we've seen a tremendous response.
So you got good weed control with no post applications.
Absolutely.
So what'd that save you per acre?
Oh, that saved us probably it's $15 to $17 alone for the dicamba, and then you usually have to put something with it for residual. So you could be saving up in the neighborhood of $20 to $25 an acre. So guys, if we pay attention to detail, and another thing in research that's really opening my eyes is the pH of some of these chemicals that we're applying. It's lowering our pH of our soil. We really have to pay attention to detail, and that's what Pro-Ag has taught me. And you can ask your chemical supplier, you can go to the website, see what the pH of that chemical is, and when we use our products that are more neutral pH, will help balance them out. And that's what's great about the Conklin AgriVantage system, is all of our products are 6 to 7 pH. And so that's an added benefit in itself. But just having that plant food available for that plant. And another thing we realized on research is the earlier, if we do have to use a herbicide, let's try to do it earlier with some micronutrients together if you want to, or separate, whatever fits your economic package. But what we're seeing in our research is if we go out earlier with the post-emergence herbicide and then come back later with just our nutrient program with the Conklin AgriVantage system, it helps that plant metabolize that chemical a lot better. So that's why we're seeing that happen.
You bet. Todd, thanks. Appreciate it.